I know that human being and fish can coexist peacefully.
Hello and welcome to the Spoilt Milk Movie Podcast. Here at Spoilt Milk, we like to discuss, destroy and dissect guilty pleasure movies and decide whether they're truly spoilt milk or if they've ascended into a fine, luxurious cheese. So without further ado, here we go. Happy New Year and welcome to episode 7 of the Spoilt Milk Movie Podcast. Today we're going to be tackling 2 films. Yeah, that's right, 2 whole films. We'll be diving into the further and discussing Insidious Parts 1 and 2, not 3.
Oh, I thought it was going to be Hot Shots Part 1 and Part 2.
Oh, did you not get the memo? No, it's Insidious Part 2.
Is this Batman Begins or The Dark Knight? Did you not give a memo, Mr. Whatever that dickhead's name is?
Well, you've already heard them. To the left, got a lady whose love for plaid shirts and getting stuck in places is only surpassed by Josh from Insidious. It's Katty, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Happy New Year.
Oh, Happy New Year, that's very nice. Have you got a plaid shirt on today?
I have.
I can
it's
see
red.
it.
It's red. It's red today.
Like there's some sort of blind date blind. Are you wearing a plaid shirt?
I usually go blindfold for these things. And to the right, we've got the hobo back as always. He's quite jealous of Josh from Insidious. I don't know if you know this, Katty, because in the film, Josh has got a house in the real world and a second house in the further, and the hobo's just got a cardboard box. How does that feel, hobo?
I mean, I bet Josh has never had to take a shower where you have to wait until it rains, but then find a really good gutter that's leaking, and then just wash under that. I mean, you use
what is a good gutter? What makes a good gutter?
Well, it's got a lot of volume, so it can hold a lot, but then it's got a decent sized hole, so it spreads. And
Okay.
Then,
Like a rainfall.
Yeah, exactly. But you need a good coverage. You need a good weight of water. Otherwise, it's not going. The dirt that's above is not going to wash the dirt that's on you. You need fresh dirt.
Yeah, you do need that fresh.
Do you map it out as well? Have you got a little map of town? This one's good.
Yeah, and for a while that will work. But people fix things in the higher echelons of the world where
Very
they earn money, and they. I mean, not always. Some people prefer to spend it on things like Netflix and whatnot. So I like those people who don't have their priorities right in order.
Don't have any house pride.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're not up for having a house, but paying for Netflix is fine.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's... Well,
you've got to pay for your content.
I'm fine with people paying for Netflix because, I mean, I don't know if anyone's thought about how I watch these films, but it's called breaking in and entering.
It's called Hyde Park, student area. No one licks their door.
Exactly. It's very good. And sometimes people come down, they see me in the living room watching Netflix, and they just think I'm a friend.
Maybe you should break into Predator's house because you're so dirty that when you walk in and sit in his living room, he'll look straight past you because you'll be like Arnie all covered in mud.
You just see my eyes.
And just do that laugh and watch Netflix.
Deep throating a chicken sandwich.
No, it'd be deep throating a chicken. Yeah. I can't afford the thing to put it between.
But you can afford a life. Oh, I did see a tramp, a tramp in Brussels with a cockerel.
What?
Yeah.
There was a tramp in Brussels with a cockerel. There was also a tramp in Brussels with a rabbit.
What, like as its friend?
Yeah, you know how you see tramps in town with dogs?
Yeah.
This bastard had a cockerel.
You sound jealous of the guy,
It was just really...
Have you got a cockerel?
No, I don't. I don't have a cock.
I spent 4 days in Brussels and saw the weirdest shit. So, tramp with a cockerel, tramp with a rabbit, some guys dressed up as something that can only resemble the weird creature vulture things from Dark Crystal.
You're doing a thing with your hand, which is
That doesn't come across on a podcast.
3-fingered poke with your hand.
It's like a shadow puppet bird.
Yeah, that's exactly what it
Where
is.
the fuck did you go in Brussels? Isn't Brussels supposed to be like a really nice place? And
Just
you're like,
Brussels.
I saw a tramp with this, I saw a tramp with this,
I
I
also
saw the hobo.
I also saw a man, middle of the day, hot as shit, full gimped up.
You mean
Full
like
gimp.
sexy
Full gimp.
hot
Yeah,
as shit?
hot.
Or
No,
Well, if he's in a gimp outfit.
temperature.
Oh, okay.
It was really hot. It was properly sweaty.
I thought you saw a really buff, gimped up guy. Like,
No.
fucking hell, I'm now into that.
That is one hot gimp.
He was head to toe gimped up, apart from he was wearing Nike Air Max.
Nice. Oh, yes. I love the Nike.
Well, you've got to be comfy when you're gimped up.
Gimping.
Yeah.
Is it like gimping? Is that a thing? To gimp? Like, is that?
Is it Jaipur as well, the Belgian beer?
I don't know.
Like,
There's lots of Belgian beers.
Is Jaipur?
is it Jaipur? Is it a juniper or some...
A julipper.
Julipper, that's
yeah,
it.
that horrible one.
Yeah, so he was just drinking a can of that with his dog
Nice.
collar on, being held by his master, with his zip open on his mouth, wearing his Nike Air Max.
All
like,
I've got to say is gimping ain't easy, man.
Yeah. well, thanks for that. As we talked about the Hobo's Belgian family,
We should get more of an update on everyone's daily life.
on everyone's holidays
Yeah.
and gimping activities. We have got a top 3 to tackle, though.
Okay.
And this time it's been sent in by Scott Ruthven. Hello, Scott.
Ruthven.
Ruthven.
Are we spelling this with 5 or 2 Ks?
Ruthven. I'm sure he wants his name out there spelt. Ruthven.
Let's just guess his...
Ruthven.
Can we guess his Gmail address? Is it s.ruthven@gmail.com?
Yeah, definitely.
Or is he going to
Email
go
that
old
guy.
school with
Oh.
Google Mail?
Oh, do you reckon he's that old, but he's got a Google Mail?
I've got Google Mail.
But what?
Yeah. I didn't want to change it, and I regret it now because it's a bitch to write
See,
out.
I transferred my parents from Google Mail to Gmail. I feel you need someone to come in along
Need some
and just
guidance.
yeah,
on
just
this one.
go. Come on, let it go.
Sit me down. This is an intervention.
Well, scott.ruthven@googlemail.com wants to know what are our 3 movies that predicted the future well. Now, I already know the answer to this because I've been to the future. Sorry, that's a pot joke. Who wants to go first on this one?
I don't want to.
You don't want to?
No, because I've got 2. Because
You always have 2. You're always like, I've got 2.
it's because I always pick a backup just in case someone
Yeah,
says the
that's
first
it. Okay.
one.
Do you know what? I'm going to go first.
Okay, yeah,
If that's all right?
yeah, that's fine. Yeah,
I mean, I'm saying you always have 2. I've got 4. I was like, I'm going to make sure I've got a backup and a backup and a backup.
back up. Because you never know what the future holds. Except
Yeah, exactly.
these films.
Yes. But fate, what's the line from Terminator? Fate, there is no fate but what we make for ourselves.
That is
So I'm
exactly it.
making my own fate by
You
having
Sarah
4
Connor
answers.
motherfucker.
I've gone for Cable Guy.
Cable Guy.
Yeah, have you seen Cable Guy?
Yeah.
That was in my top 5.
Oh, was it?
That's
Right,
an awesome
okay.
movie. I
Yeah,
don't know
I
what
like
he
Cable
predicts
Guy.
though. I don't remember. I haven't seen it in a while.
Well, the weird part about it is I got hung up originally on predicting technology, and what like technology was used in old films that you're like, oh, we've now got that. Like,
Yeah.
oh, they had this, now we've got this. And then I reread Scott Ruthven at gmail.com's question again, and it was just talking about predicting the future. And there's quite a long speech at the end of Cable Guy where he's on that big antenna, that big
Yeah.
satellite dish,
Yeah.
and he says, because he's Chip Douglas, isn't he? And he says, the future is now. Soon every American home will integrate their television, phone, and computer. You'll be able to visit the Louvre on one channel or watch female wrestling on another. You can do your shopping at home or play Mortal Kombat with a friend from Vietnam. There's no end to the possibilities.
Oh shit.
Pretty much
Yep.
basically
What-
laying down what does happen.
Yeah.
Like gamers now are always playing with people, whether it's like in their country or another, TV connected to. I mean, I was telling these guys earlier about how on my Sky Q box, you can speak into it and it recognizes what you want. So it's practice accents and stuff. But you can even say stuff like, I'll be back, and it suggests Terminator.
And it's learning how, even if it doesn't recognise what you say, it's learning what you watch after that and trying to figure out what you meant. Which is
It's also
creepy as
learning
fuck.
accents, though.
Yeah, it's learning my accent. Because originally I did a thick Northern Irish and I had no idea.
We apologise to the Northern Irish.
So I was like, Insidious, and it came up with sucking off as a suggestion.
We apologise again.
It's only out of love, though, my impression of Northern Irish.
I want to ask, what year did this film come out? Because I can remember.
Cable Guy must be like 95, 96.
Oh,
Yeah, I
shit.
thought it was like
Fuck.
96.
Yeah, because it's quite old. I mean, maybe dial-up was around in that time, but not 96. Yeah, so
That's ahead of its time by a
Yeah.
long way. That's impressive. That is, I mean, because a lot of films, I'm not going to go too much into this, depending on what you films choose, but a lot of films predict some things that, I don't know, it's kind of, but I mean, that's very quite specific and very accurate on what's happened. That's impressive.
Right, so what have you guys gone for? Who's going?
Go on.
Who's going?
Oh,
Go on,
okay.
Hobo.
Well, I originally was thinking of what I was saying before. There's a lot of films that predicted a lot of things that we all know are here now and stuff like that.
Right.
So I kind of wanted to go somewhere a little bit weird,
Right.
but also in line with a shit that I think is scary as fuck. So originally I was going to choose Short Circuit.
But you didn't pick this one.
No, because
Right.
I was coming today to do this podcast, ready to choose that one. And then as I was walking over here, listening to my music, there's a song by, and I've told you about this, called Maybe She Will, called Not For The Want Of Trying. And they use a reference from a film. And that film is, the reference is a monologue from a film, which is The Network.
Oh, the... how do you
Um,
try to say Albert Finney?
the guy that's in it.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't remember.
The one on TV.
Faye Dunaway is the lead actress in it. I can't remember the guy, but yeah, the main guy in it, he's like an Australian guy who's really good and
He does that big
died
speech
before. Yeah.
at the end.
And it's a really, and I listened to it, I was like, how the fuck did I forget about this film? Because this is a film that I can't even remember what year it came out, but
It's an old one.
yeah,
76?
I don't think I've seen
76.
it.
So in the 70s, and this predicted where we are now with tabloid journalism, where you get on the news things that are reported that are just sensational and they're not thoroughly researched and we're all about grabbing people. And this predicted it back in the 70s because it's about a guy who goes on, he finds out he's been like number one or really highly rated news show for ages, but his ratings are dipping so much they're essentially going to get rid of him. So he gets trashed one night with his old time buddy who's also like head of the TV station or whatever. I'm just talking about how shit TV is now. And he goes on the next day and just says, I'm going to commit suicide live on TV. And then he has a bit of a do, and we're like, oh no, you shouldn't do that. But also, we respect you so much, we're going to give you one last apologise, and just that's your final show. So they send him on one last time again, and then he just has this amazing rant about how people
I'm not going to take it anymore.
Yeah, I want you to get up, go outside.
Oh, I've seen that little bit.
Yeah. I thought you might have.
I think I've played that.
Stick your head out a window and say,
I think you might
in
have
like
done.
a past job.
I'm as mad as hell,
Yeah.
and I'm not going to take it anymore.
You have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he gives this awesome speech. Obviously, like it seems obvious to us now, but back in the 70s, this wasn't obvious. But when that happens, ratings spike, and there's one woman who sees this spike and goes, "I'm going to take advantage of this guy," and starts putting him on more and more and getting him to rant. And all this time, he's having this sort of mental breakdown of like he's coming in like soaked in rain, doesn't know where the fuck what he's doing. But she's seen his ratings spike.
Yeah.
And it's really good, and it's a really biting commentary on sensationalism and, feeding into this how people consume media. And this was back in the 70s, close to the 80s, and now we are fully involved in that as we speak.
Oh, totally.
Good suggestion.
Yeah, so I'm really glad that song came on, because otherwise I would have been like, killer robots.
Yeah, and Short Circuit's got that white guy.
Brown
Browned him up, yeah.
Oh, that was like, what was the other podcast where you reminded me of Kevin Spacey was in the film, The Negotiator? And I was like,
Yeah, it just ruined it.
Short Circuit is
Short
also
Circuit
ruined for me.
Been ruined. Katty, you're last.
Oh, no. And now mine's going to seem really shit.
What? What, shitter than Cable Guy?
Is it going to be Transformers?
Yeah. So,
There's robots in disguise.
oh my God. We all know how I write shit films.
Yep.
So,
No denial here.
no, there's no denial. I'm not going to try and hide it.
No, Trolls is great.
We are going to be watching Troll one time. I'm going to make you. But so one of my second one was going to be. This is not a shit film, by the way. it was going to be Back to the Future 2.
Yeah,
Nice. Yeah, no.
yeah, like
Because
Google Glass.
Marty's kids with the phone glasses.
There was a
and-
lot, wasn't there, in Back to the Future 3D
Yeah.
films?
Yeah,
and
like
stuff.
not so much like the hoverboards and stuff like that, but there were a lot of stuff where, you just look at it and think as if people actually didn't realize that was going to be coming in a couple of years. So I didn't. That was the second choice. The
Is
first.
it because you didn't pick it because Back to the Future 2 is dogger?
What?
Yep.
Oh no! Get out, you
What?
Chewbacca-looking
It's an
motherfucker.
Awful.
Are you on glue?
It's awful. Back to the Future 2. I'd happily do it as a guilty pleasure, but not as a good film. It's awful. Anyway, what did you go for?
This is my shit film, and I love it. Face Off.
Face Off.
Face Off is an amazing film.
What's a like plastic surgery?
So they did a head transplant last year, didn't they? Like the
What?
first ever head transplant.
No, I
What,
saw
like
about
a
that.
chicken
No, of a human.
onto a homeless man?
Human?
A human.
A human head transplant?
Yeah. So this guy that they've done
Wait,
it.
who was the man then in the end? The head or the body?
So this guy that they've done it on is this guy, and he's got like some medical condition that's literally cabbage in his body.
Right.
His head's completely
Nice.
fine. Head's completely fine. His brain's completely fine. It's just his body, like in a couple of years, is not going to be able to move, and it's just going to sort of kill him, basically. And they were like, right, well, we've done it on the monkey. It survived for a little while.
Right. Let's give him a monkey body.
Yeah, let's give you a human head, but a chimp body.
Whoa, no. We all know from the last podcast you would not like watch
Yeah,
that. You
you
wouldn't
won't
read any
want it, yeah.
news.
No.
A monkey talking. Fuck
No,
that.
fuck it. Unless it were like a tiny capuchin, like a human man's head on a capuchin monkey's head.
Would that monkey be walking with his head like scraping on?
It would have to have like a monkey wheelbarrow for its head. But so they've got a cadaver and like a fresh cadaver, and they've chopped this guy's head off and
Chop the guy's head off, put it on the other
Put it
one.
on the-
Abracadabra.
Bit of magic paste in between.
What?
Paul
Is this real?
Daniels is there.
Did they have to? I know this is a weird thing, but like, did the person get a choice of the body?
I
For that,
don't.
I'll have that one.
I don't know.
I think if you're dying in that rapid,
You telling me if you looked over and there was like 5 bodies and there was like one that was a bit ripped or one that was like proper well hung or whatever, you'd be like, I'll have that fat piece of shit over there in the corner.
Like if you had a choice of Danny DeVito or Arnie,
Yeah.
we'll
You've
go
got to-
twins here.
medically wise, they have to choose healthy. It's like organ transplants. They don't choose like a fat enlarged liver to transplant.
Yeah.
Like this one's pretty much dead already, but it's better than yours, which is dead.
Wait,
They choose-
my body's quite unhealthy.
Yeah.
Can I go and swap it for a healthy one? Like,
You
I
could if you want
Arnie's
to take the
body.
risk of like, I don't know,
I could just go to gym, but
60% death. Are you choosing 60%
Damn it.
death over exercising
damn it,
daily?
you just ruined it. Go to the gym.
but no, that's good.
Yeah.
So yeah, they've not so much sort of transplanted his face, but like
No,
his
but-
whole head.
Well, that is the next step after. There was a French woman, I think, who got her face eaten off by a chimp,
She did-
weirdly enough.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. And she got her face transplant, like face off, which is
Yep.
what I thought he was going to say. But the head transplant is the next level. So, yeah, that's. So we're already past face off, if
And will
anything.
they have those like voice translators where it's like, I could eat
No,
a peach
because
for
the-
hours.
Look, it'll be all vocal corded up.
no,
It'll be hooked up though.
that's an added extra. You have to pay for that. Like, if you want the vocal cords, can't afford it.
It's just like when you buy a new house and it's like, do you want the white goods? Because that's going to be an extra £7 million.
I know this is like an odd thing to think about straight away, but if you're going to the toilet and you've got this other body and you're
someone else's
basically
dick.
like wiping some other guy's ass or whatever,
It's your own ass then.
but it isn't.
Well,
Someone
yeah.
else has grown it for you.
But your head's on it.
And you're feeling all the glory of wiping your ass.
You're feeling your finger slip through the toilet paper.
Oh,
yeah.
right. Okay.
Lesson learned back in college: never buy cheap toilet paper.
Is that like a
That's how
deleted
you
scene
get a
in
finger
Face
up your
Off?
butt.
Where Nicolas Cage is like, oh, it's in my butt. So,
What, mentally he's picturing it like John Travolta's finger in the butt, and like Nicolas Cage's feeling like.
Maybe that could have been like the front cover of the video. You know, it was like half their faces. One half could have been a butt, and the other could have been a finger.
I would have loved that.
But is that our top three? So mine was Cable Guy predicting internet, TV, all coming syncing together. Hobo.
Mine was the network
I
predicting.
think it's just network.
Oh, I always get this wrong. I'm pretty sure I've
but
told
I
you
always
about
say
it
the
before.
wrong actor as well. So
Yeah. I get it wrong all the time. Well, network or the network, which predicted tabloid news.
And Katty.
So I forgot. So, mine was Face Off with a face transplant / head transplant.
Oh yeah, onto a monkey.
Yeah. No, please no.
Right, okay, next coming up, Insidious Parts 1 and 2.
Hi there, Spoilt Milk. It's me, Patrick Wilson, and I'm Insidious. I also star in the film Insidious 2. I quite like Insidious 3, and 4 is a piece of shit. Psst, psst, Patrick. The films are called Insidious, not Sidious. Get the fuck out of here. So you're saying I'm in Insidious? That's fucking stupid. Yeah, look, take the script. Oh, fuck Knuckle.
Hello and welcome back to part 1 of the Spoilt Milk movie podcast. Today we're going to be discussing Insidious Chapter 1 and Insidious Chapter 2. We will not be delving into Chapter 3 or the 4th. I think the 4th has just come out this week.
Yep. In the
Psycho Higher?
cinemas.
In cinemas?
In the cinemas.
No.
I think it was the 14th.
Right, okay.
16th.
Pretty sure it is almost as popular as Star Wars. That's how big of a release it got.
Yeah, definitely.
Everyone was aware of it. Everyone cared. You know, tears.
It's the big franchise, isn't it?
I know.
I think Disney are going to buy Blumhouse next.
That's probably
the
what we'll
Insidious.
buy.
For the Insidious.
Insidious.
Oh, I thought it was Insidious.
Insidious.
But Insidious makes more sense.
Insidious.
Yeah. So, Katty, what the fuck's Insidious about?
So, Insidious, or the Insidious.
That's a really nice. You added on Insidious.
So, Insidious is all about there's like a new family, they move into this house. Of course, family. Two
New house.
2 little boys, little girl, Ma and Da.
Mm-hmm.
Move into this house, and it's all about astral projection and ghosts and a shit Darth
Asshole
Maul.
projection.
asshole projection.
Is it
We've
like
all been
face
there.
off?
It's like
Ass off.
butt off.
Right, okay.
Oh, I
Astral-
thought you meant like dodgy food asshole projection.
Yeah. So,
The first Insidious
right.
nicely links in with the second.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So they're both about the same thing, really, aren't
Yeah,
they?
astral projection, demons, ghosts and shit.
Using
Spooky.
the term
Ooh.
nicely links in.
Well, it
As if
does.
it's not like a shit shovel
It's not
of-
like, oh, well, the first one's about possession and the second one's about fucking dog walking.
No, it's more like the first one's a film that they made entirely on its own, and the second one went, all right, how can we shoehorn this in the most ham-fisted way possible?
Oh, do you think?
Yes.
I felt like maybe it had been planned the whole time.
I did. I think that the things were in there that were just like, oh, this is in there. Ooh. In the second one, it's like, yeah.
You know, I felt like they were. It had always been that way.
I am gobsmacked about this.
Right, okay.
I think that was one of the least seamless transitions I've seen. I've seen other films that have had less planning, but maybe you're right. Maybe this film did have planning between the two, and there's been films that obviously haven't, and they've ham-fisted their way through.
Like Back to the Future
linking-
2.
Oh, you're gonna get on my bad nerve.
Insidious 2 is a better time travel sequel than Back to the Future 2.
Are you fucking kidding me? You're just trying to boil up my blood now.
They don't have Donald Trump in, for starters, like with Biff in his tower or whatever. Well, who have we got? We've got Josh and Renee. Is it just me? She's never been a Renee. Where the fuck
No.
was
Yeah,
that
no.
name coming
That's-
from?
What were a fucking accent as well?
Yeah.
Like, it were American, then all of a sudden it were Australian.
Because she's Australian, isn't she?
Yeah,
Both
yeah.
then?
It's like, Jesus wept. Like, stick with one. Stick with one.
Yeah, pick one, stick with it.
So yeah, Josh and Renee, mum and pa.
Yeah.
Ma
Ma and Da.
Ma and Da.
And then they had those 3 annoying kids. There was
Dalton.
mini Joseph Gordon-Levitt kid. That little dark-haired kid. Who is it? What's his name?
Is his name Foster?
Foster.
Oh,
they had
yeah,
really
that sounds it.
pretentious names in this film.
Foster,
didn't
and
they?
then Dalton.
Fucking Timothy Dalton.
Dalton.
They weren't brothers. They didn't
No.
even look
No.
like brothers.
I think
No,
that-
I expected that.
I think they found the first one.
Yeah.
I think the naming is just like the first hint that this film was quite badly written.
What's the baby called as well?
Douchebag.
What's the...
Fucking cries every time on screen.
So we start off with them. They move into a new house. It is proper standard horror trope. She's
Yeah.
writing some sweet songs, isn't she?
Some sweet
like,
parts.
The next, like,
Just can't get my inspiration.
She's
because you're going ding, 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 ding.
ding, 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 ding.
I think I've got it. It's Star Wars for me for the 10th time.
Did
That's
you know
your
it?
song. Yes, I know it's my fucking song. It's the fucking Emperor's March or whatever.
Did you notice, like, right at the beginning though, like the opening credits with all the pictures?
Oh,
It was disgustingly Amityville. Like, have you ever seen an Amityville documentary and it's like, oh, these are all the pictures of around the house and stuff, and it's like all normal pictures, and all of a sudden you'll get like one with like a ghost or some shit in it, and
fucking
then
chair moves. That was... No, wait. Even the opening, I've got a note here, which is like... So you get the opening shitty intro, which is some sort of pan down from a shitty ceiling light, which they make a big deal about. And then...
Everyone
Because
loves
that's his Josh's light when he's a kid.
It's bullshit. It's no...
It's there in the second
And
film.
then, so they have this opening which already has titles, and then it's a shitty opening, and then it goes to titles, which are these pictures that you mentioned
Yeah.
that have shitty animations like a chair slightly moves, a light hanging swings,
Yeah.
and that's more titles.
Yeah, they love the titles. In
And
this.
they do it again in the second one. They do exactly the same.
The second one, the introduction's like 15 minutes long. I'm getting all spitty. That's how excited I am.
So passionate.
And then they play some more titles. Yeah, they love titles.
Horrific.
Yeah.
It did not give me a good start to this film.
But then it totally redeems itself with their matching pajamas.
oh my
Mum
days.
and son matching pajamas took me right back to when me and my mum used to wear the same pajamas, and I'd call her old as fuck. Do you remember where she's like, "How old do you think mum is?" I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
old as fuck. Dead
Like,
cunt.
oh, I think you're 21. Fuck off.
Yeah, and she's
They
like,
don't even know what 21 is.
Yeah.
and I might stop hitting on your fucking mum. Oh, you only look 21. That's a little.
And tries to finger her asshole.
Oh, moving on. So that's creepy little Dalton. Do you think he's already possessed at the bit when he's hitting on his mum?
Maybe.
Right. Okay.
No, I
well, we
think-
can't blame him.
I think he's
Because
just going to grow up to be a
guy,
murderer.
that guy that we see later on with face, he
Which
was well
guy?
trying to tongue her.
Oh, yeah. He
yeah.
proper tries to tongue them on.
He's like, as a ghost. Do you reckon maybe one of the films we haven't seen is maybe the guy who tongues her later is Dalton older that dies and then comes back as a ghost?
Yes.
Time
Yeah.
travel.
They definitely set up time travel as a ghost.
Yeah. Dyes his hair. Dyes
Can
it black.
I say at the
Gets a
start
leather
of
jacket.
this,
Sweet leather jacket.
something we're going to touch on as we go through the film is there are no rules that are set and or kept to in
No.
this entire... They make up things as they go along and then they redo them, and it's just... There's nothing. There's no rules.
No,
It's whimsy.
Of course, there's no rules.
Whimsy.
No, like he just can be in the present and then in the future, in the further. There's
Yeah.
only one house there. I don't know. Like, there's that torch that's just always there.
Yeah.
When you need a little torch with proper sweet battery life on it, that's what I want. I'm more interested in the
Do you,
battery.
do you
power
think
of
it's
that
just a
torch.
wind-up one? Just like,
Oh yeah, maybe it's got a little dynamo in or something.
yeah, what you don't see is like the outtakes where he's like having to stand in a corner, like with his back to the wall.
Just winding it.
I realised as well, that bit after the kid is like, oh, you're really old, and she's like, oh, I wish I was 21.
Yeah.
Then they immediately have a shot of the dad going, oh, grey hairs. I think
Oh
we've
yeah,
always
they're
got
all
them.
Yeah.
in this house, aren't they?
And then, but they have this focus on age for both of them, so they're both worried about getting older.
Goes nowhere. Yeah.
For anyone who couldn't see my arms, they spread wide and shrugged.
Yeah, in like a Christ-like pose. Like you're saying that this is the
Godly.
second coming of films.
This is kill me now of films.
So little Dalton, first of all, is he getting some kind of, are you hearing the stuff through the radio first, or does he go up to the attic?
It goes up to attic first.
That's quite near the beginning, isn't it?
Yeah.
He goes up to the attic, slips, like bashes his head,
Yeah, well, first things first.
but goes into a coma.
Who the fuck? I don't know, how old is he supposed to be, like 5 or 6 or something?
Don't know.
But he stood at
Yeah.
top of the stairs, playing with his shark and his sword, and
I can't remember that at all.
He was jacking off him.
well, his dad gets him a present, doesn't he?
What?
Like his dad gets him a present. I can't remember if it was a shark or if it was a sword that he gets given. But he's got like a big shark and a foam sword.
Yeah. I can't remember.
And he's wearing a bullshit cape.
Yeah,
like-
I remember
Oh, yeah,
the cape, yeah.
He's like playing at the top of the stairs, and then all of a sudden the door opens. What kind of like child thinks, you know what? That door's just opened by itself. I'm just gonna go have a look.
Yeah, but when you're a kid, you don't know any better, do you? You've never seen Insidious 1 or 2.
No, but you also have a fear of everything in you as well at the same time. You're both
Everything inside you.
fearless and fearful. It's
you're
like
a
a
pussy.
weird... Do you not remember
Dalton
being a
wasn't.
little
He had a
bitch?
cape. He had a cape on. He was fucking hard as nails. He's already hitting on his mum. he's tough. He's got no fears. He don't care about incest. He's at it. So he goes to the thing. He's fearless. He should be scared, but he isn't.
Yeah.
He
And
goes up,
climbs the
falls
ladder.
over, but he's all right, isn't he?
Yeah, he like falls over, he like knocks his head, and he sits up, and then he hears like some tapping in corner, which sounds like a typewriter. I'd like to think
yeah.
it was some sort of lonely hipster that's like come into the house because it's been abandoned and he's there on his typewriter writing his screenplay. It's like, I was here before it was cool.
That would have been a better film. Kid befriends a hipster that actually turns out to be a ghost.
It's just bizarre. It's like he like turns around, looks, and you don't see anything. You just hear this tap tapping.
And
Then
then he screams.
yeah,
doesn't
he bitches out and screams.
Yeah.
It's like
oh, no, he's a bitch.
Yeah.
well, because like he's just gone upstairs. Like he's gone upstairs in the dark with his little lantern thing. He's put that on the floor. He's climbed a ladder trying to get it. He's fall, cracked his head. His leg hurts.
Yeah.
And he's crying about some tapping.
This is what I mean about no rules, because later on they say, oh, he's got this gift, but when he's asleep, he goes on these journeys and he's gone too far, and that's where he's met this guy and he's tricked him.
It
But
sounds
that's
like
not
the
how
story
they
of a
set up-
paedophile.
Oh, it definitely is. But that's not what they set up. They set up that he went into a dodgy attic, tripped, fell, knocked his head, but hurt his leg, woke up, and then saw a creepy monster, and then was possessed or something, maybe. But then also did
But
this
he-
It
dream
wasn't. It
walking.
wasn't possessed at
But
that
that
point.
kid can go to sleep in like 2 seconds. So
Yeah,
that's
well-
what happened. He laid down and was like, I'm going to sleep. Straight asleep. After a second, that's when he met the ghost. It happens later. Why couldn't it happen at the beginning? That kid can knock out a nap. Like, he's not had any like relentless that,
I think that
day.
I
has
think
he?
that kid's just a little bit depressed.
Yeah,
I think he's just like,
need to sleep.
can't face today. You're fucking 5.
I've read this hipster's script. Boring. So
Yeah, he goes into his coma.
yeah.
Parents are like, "Oh my god, what's going on?" Doctors are like, "We've never seen this before." It's like,
Yeah.
no, of course you haven't. He's in like the further. He's astral projecting like a motherfucker.
Yeah, they should know that.
Yeah.
They should really know
Like,
that.
get the gypsy in.
So then this is when things start ramping up, isn't
Yeah.
it? So we see the long-haired leather coat guy. don't
not yet.
we? She goes into the baby room
Yeah, but that's after the voices are on the.
Oh, yeah.
on the baby monitor.
Yeah, so
The
the voices are on the baby
monitor.
monitor.
Yeah.
Then
Oh, I
She
baby's.
wrote
goes
down.
upstairs to investigate.
I want it now.
Yeah.
I want it now.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
kill them all, kill them all.
Yeah.
And then, she goes upstairs. There's no one there. She's like, "Ugh." And then, like, later on that night, the brother Foster is like, "Oh, I don't like it when Dalton walks around at night."
Yeah, so he's...
And then they have a really creepy moment where he's like shutting the door and watching the kid.
And then you can hear walking.
Oh,
You can hear the footsteps because that's when you hear the footsteps and like the creaking of the floorboards, and then Foster kind of sits up and is looking at his brother, and there's nothing going on.
I think I missed the walking footsteps. I just thought he woke up and looked at him. Even though this is like the second time I've seen the film, I think I just forgot that.
Yeah, you hear the footstep first, like it's like floorboards creeping. He gets up, he closes the door. The kid's not moved out of his bed. I'd be more pissed off about the beeping art monitor.
Oh,
Oh,
I'd be
yeah.
like, can we not put this on mute or something?
But what happens after that bit? Because I can't remember. He is.
They close the
Essentially
door, there's
nothing,
more
yeah.
creaking around, he shits himself, he gets back into bed.
Oh yeah.
But that's when the mum's having a discussion about, oh, well, Foster's just said something really weird. Like, apparently Dolphin's been having a little wander.
Dolphin.
Dolphin.
That dolphin.
Dolphin.
We've got in the pool
Dolphin.
downstairs. Keeps going.
He's been having a little wander around, and then they go to sleep. And then the baby monitor kicks off again. That's when she goes into the room, and then there's leather jacket tonguing guy.
Yeah, leather jacket tonguing guy.
Yeah.
Sweet.
That bit, don't get me wrong, it did make me jump, but it was, I mean, it was a nicely built moment, but also at the same time, it was just a shitty jump scare. It was.
This film's got a real bad problem with not knowing when to cut.
Yeah.
Like, it does the jump scare, which I don't mind a jump scare every so often. If it makes you jump, it does its job. You're like, right, fair enough. But then it just holds it too long. And it doesn't leave anything to the imagination. Like, it shows you that guy, and then it just stays on him, and he's like, hi. I'm still
No,
here.
I mean,
Now,
the
come
thing
on.
is, with a decent horror movie, you have jump scares, which can at any time in a good movie can serve its purpose, but most horror movies just have jump scares. Or you have, what Insidious had, the first one, a really good build-up moment, which was the bit where the guy's pacing outside the door.
Yeah.
First, you see it when she first wakes up, she didn't notice it, just a person passing by, you don't know what it may be. And then you see it happen again, and you're like, oh shit, and she starts to notice it, and it's a guy, like, pacing outside the window, and you're like, oh shit, and she's, like, noticed it, she's frozen in fear, like anyone would be, like, there's a really mental guy, just, and he's talking to
And
himself.
then he'll be
muttering.
on the upstairs level as
Yeah.
well, so it's not like he's out front.
And so she's quietly trying to alert her husband, like, come the fuck in here. And then the next minute you have, he's pacing up and down right next to the bed. Instantly, as he paces outside the window, he goes out of shot. And then the next thing, when he comes back to pace, he's back in shot. That is a perfect horror moment. That is a really nicely built horror moment.
And there are some really good moments in this film, and there's some actually, I really like some of the shots in this film. They have like a good mix between like steady cam, but then they have some just really nice camera placed in its position, just a little like pan to the side. So there's some good stuff going into like the workings of the film. But yeah, some of the jump scares. If you think back to say like Exorcist, where you get that flash of Pazuzu or whatever, where you just see the flash of that weird face, and you never see it for the rest of the film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, you've done it well there. But yeah, with Insidious, there's just not so great with the jump scares. Jump and then leave it on.
And then the biggest stupid thing was, right at that moment, they have the big baby in the crib thing, and the door opens, and it's like a home invasion shit.
Yeah.
We don't see anyone, but it is literally played out like a home invasion.
Yeah.
So it doesn't
Alarm
matter if you
goes
think
off,
you're seeing
doors
ghosts or anything, you'd be shitting it.
Yeah.
Cut straight to day at work teaching, and he's deciding to stay late.
Yeah. I love that he bottles it, and he's basically
Fucking-
I'm staying
Yeah,
late.
I'm just going to stay late.
They act like it didn't happen almost. I know they had that talk afterwards, but it really didn't jar that he was avoiding it. It jarred like they just jumped ahead a few days, and he was trying to stay late at work because for whatever.
He's just a
fucking-
good
yeah.
He just didn't want to go home.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because he can't bear to hear any more songs.
Yeah.
Those fucking piano songs.
What was it? Where's my note?
Well, did you notice when he was in the school, the things on the blackboard behind him? Did you notice the little Easter eggs?
No.
So it's directed by James Wan,
Yeah.
and there's a list of people in detention, and his name's on it, and it says ×2. So he's got twice the detention. And then there was just a flat-out, full-on drawing of the Saw, the little Saw doll head or whatever.
No.
And I was just, how didn't you spot it? It's fucking clear as day. You'll watch it again and be like, how did I miss that? But yeah, he's dodging home life, isn't he?
Yeah.
Not happy.
No.
No. So then things start ramping up. This is where they move house, isn't it?
Yeah.
Pretty
Yeah.
much jump ahead a fair
Sensible
bit, but-
move for a movie.
Yeah,
Oh,
fairly sensible
I'm actually
movie, but-
scared of his house. Doesn't matter if I believe in ghosts or anything. I believe you. He's scared shitless. We're gonna move house.
And I quite like the
Well
fact
done.
that you see that the quality of the house has dropped a little bit. Like they have that nice big house, and the next one's a little bit shittier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we've had to probably sell up quick and move out. But yeah, it's quite nice. Josh supporting dad and that lot. wants to stay at work rather than be at home. But yeah, he's happy to move house. And then it starts happening again in the new house, doesn't it? She picks up that photo. Is that in the new house? Because Mum starts turning up. Where have you been?
Yeah.
For the first half of the film.
Yeah.
She rocks up, doesn't she? And she's like, oh, I can never take Josh's picture.
Kid's in a coma and she didn't turn up, but then...
Yeah, exactly. She's only there so they can palm off the other two kids for the rest of the film.
Both of these movies, by the way, had a problem with dealing with what the fuck to do with the kids.
Yeah.
After the initial, we're using them for creepy moment, they're just like, just pretend they're not here.
The other kid did not need to be in it. Foster.
No.
What did he
No.
bring to the table? At least the baby brought a baby monitor.
Yeah.
And they're like, right, we can do shit with this baby
I mean, it was
monitor.
really creepy in the second one with the baby, with the mums, like, don't do it. And the smack.
Oh, yeah. We'll get onto Insidious 2 in part 2.
Oh, okay, sorry.
So they move house. She sees that little kid, doesn't she? The little kid who's dancing to Tiptoe Through the Window. But again,
He has
a
some
really...
decent dance moves as
He-
well.
he's got some sweet
that's
moves.
a poor example of a jump scare gone wrong.
Mm.
Like the whole, she goes round a corner, he jumps out, and then next thing he's just like sat there, hey up.
Well,
How's it going?
Did you notice that he was in there before you saw him dancing?
Yeah, he's in the corner, isn't he? Like,
Which I
looking
thought was
at him.
nice.
Yeah, that was quite
Well,
good.
because I don't think a jump scare needs to be a scare doesn't need to be a jump scare. It needs to be a continuous build-up of things.
Yeah, but with that one, you don't notice it at first. You don't notice he's there at first, and it takes you by surprise when you actually realise, like, oh shit, he's there. When did he get
Yeah.
there?
Playing these records. But then they just show him for too much.
Yeah.
And anything scary about him, you're then like, oh, it's just a kid who's
Yeah, but
hiding in a cupboard.
If I were going to see any sort of ghost, I wouldn't want to see a kid ghost.
But
That'd scare me most.
it's like, I'm not a big fan
Baby front well.
of spiders. Like, I don't really like spiders. And if I'm like sat somewhere and I turn around, there's one on the wall, I'm like, oh God. And then after seeing it for a couple of seconds, I'm like, oh, it's just a fucking
What
spider.
if you saw a load of ghost spiders?
Oh God! But if I saw a ghost kid and it just disappeared, that would fucking blow my mind because I'd be like, "Did I see it? I'm sure I saw
What
it,
if it
but
come
did
back?
I see it?"
Like,
but if it
you
just
did
sat
see
there,
me.
did a little
Yeah, you did.
dance for a bit, then ran round
See-
and played a game of hide and seek with me, I'd be like, "Well, it's not that
I think
scary,
this
Oh
is
no,
is it?"
I'd get super freaked out. Or like, what is this kid doing here? Why is he trying to? I do it with normal kids, like actual real life kids. It's like, why is this child talking to me?
What is
he
this
in
kid
my
doing? This is your nephew. What is this kid doing here? Why is it talking to me? Is it real?
I don't like it. Can it roll me a cig?
So when does Elise come into it then? Because Elise now, because I saw Insidious 3 last night, even though we're not discussing it, but she's now kind of the main protagonist of the whole franchise. She's
Whoa.
in one,
She's
2, 3, and
basically the Insidious Tangina.
Well,
Yeah.
that's a good point to raise, though. I'll ask both of you this. Who is the main protagonist of this film?
Renee?
Is it? Because how does it end?
I'd say it's a dad.
But how does it start?
What do you mean? What you mean with it being like Elise?
So the
towards
first
it?
half, the first half is Renee. Like she's having this. She's got these kids. She's really protective of them.
Yeah.
She starts seeing ghosts. She starts having a bit of a mental breakdown. She doesn't know what to do about it.
With a bloody handprint.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
and
all
then-
focused on her, and then it switches to the guy
Yeah.
for no good reason.
Well, it's because he can astral project. She can't.
So why focus on her for like they heavily? I'm not just like there's a little bit and there's barely any.
She's a supportive wife.
But what
You've got
I
to get
think-
that
I
backstory
think
in.
Hobo is like in the structure of how story writing goes. You shouldn't set up a big story of a person and then just halfway through switch it to someone else. But why the fuck not?
Yeah.
Because
Push them boundaries.
what happens is what happened in this film is she becomes a very shit character.
Yeah.
She all she has is
She
a
then
downward
ends
slope.
up being that like runny, screamy wife.
Yeah,
as he
she
turns
she
into
doesn't
the
redeem
Shining.
herself, and he doesn't have any character arc either because he's a fucking dumbass for the first half of it, and then just gets told, "You have this ability, go and do this." So it's not like, "Oh, I always knew." It's even though they say that like you've always had it. He doesn't have that realization. He's just like, "All right."
I'll do that.
All right.
Okay.
There's honestly a really good SNL sketch where it's just a guy like they essentially do like the Narnia thing. He walks into a cupboard and is like, "You're the chosen one. You need to get the sword of Gondor or whatever." And he goes, "Okay." And then you need to get the map of the Held that's been forged by the fires. He goes, okay. That's all and that is exactly what this
That's
film
Josh
felt
in
like.
this film.
Yeah, that
So
is Josh.
it does take a bit of a flip. And then Elise comes in, talks about the past, shows the photos. This is why there was that odd little line thrown in about a photo. It does feel a bit like, did you ever used to do those things where you were younger, where you got a sheet of paper and you folded it into 5 sections?
Yeah.
And someone drew a hat, and then you folded it down, and someone drew a head, and then you folded it down, and someone drew. And it was like that, almost as if I'm going to write the start of a horror film. It's going to be about this kid who has a fall, and then they fold it over, pass it over. And it's going to be about a woman who hears like the baby on the monitor and then fold it over. But no, it's about a little brother whose brother is sleepwalking and then fold it over. No, now it's about a dad. Now it's about a grandma. Now it's about Elise. And it does feel like it's been passed on.
100%.
But I enjoy it.
I don't mind the mismatch.
No,
Keeps
I
on your
don't.
toes.
Yeah,
It
really
doesn't
does.
make any sense.
It doesn't, but I
You've
quite
got
like it.
like the Lego blocks, like different coloured Lego blocks of a film where it starts yellow, goes blue, goes red, goes a bit yellow again, but then blue, red, white comes in nowhere.
Yeah,
And
what's
then-
wrong with that? And then someone passed the sheet of paper over to George Lucas, who was like, and then Darth Maul appeared.
Yes,
Darth Maul
is-
does rock
Darth
up.
Maul with the goat legs.
Yeah, and his little nicely groomed nails.
Oh yeah, where he's sharpening his nails.
Yeah.
That's
That is-
really cool.
That went a bit. What's that film? Dreamcatcher.
yeah.
No, not Dreamcatcher.
That's the one with the Stephen King one with the aliens.
Yeah, not that one. What's the one where there's the big and he takes people's skins off?
Like is it Wishmaster?
No,
No?
bollocks. It's like that anyway. I can't remember. Bollocks.
I literally wrote Darth Maul standing behind. Darth Maul standing behind Night Owl because
Behind what?
Night Owl.
Patrick, whatever his face, played Night Owl in The Watchmen.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, Josh.
And Renee played Moira McTaggart in X-Men. So it's Night Owl and Moira McTaggart, which I personally enjoyed as a comic book man.
Who's Maureen McTaggart from
Um,
X-Men? You say?
First Class, the one who's
Oh,
the love
yeah.
interest of Xavier.
Right.
And gets... Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
So what happens next?
So Elise comes.
Spills
oh.
the beans
No, because it's the weird. It's
Elise,
the
yeah.
seance. It's a
It's,
seance bit with a.
with the elephant
No.
mask.
Before Elise comes, it's Specs and
Yeah, what is the other guy?
Tucker.
Tucker. Right.
I love his glasses with the little torches on the sides.
I just
What's the point of them?
So he
I
can
just
see
saw
in the
both of
dark.
those. I love both of those too. But I kept calling him Bear because the big guy is the guy from Fargo.
Yeah,
season
and
two.
he's really fucking good
Yeah,
in Fargo.
He's good in this. I love him in this. So they come first. Elise comes. They have the elephant mask kind of
Gas mask
gas
thing,
mask bit.
and
Oh,
it
shit.
goes to his his earphones, so
Yeah.
he can hear her, but she's got no other like. distractions.
It is bollocks because she never uses that ever again. There's no need for that. They were just like, this looks cool.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like-
for me, I think the problem with this film is obviously I'll watch lots of fantasies and sci-fi and stuff like that. But the problem is, very early on, it didn't give me any good faith that it cared about what it was doing. So when it came to these stupid moments, they were so stupid because it didn't seem to care about anything else.
Yeah.
So that's why I was more annoyed about this stupid gas mask thing than I probably should have been, because I was like, you're making things up as you go along. Like you said, it's the
Yeah,
folding
there's-
paper and then a mask with talks into headphones.
It's so she's got no other distractions, so she can't hear anything. She can barely see anything. She can't smell anything apart from her own stinking breath.
It's
no,
just
I
the
get it.
inconsistency,
Yeah,
isn't it? That lets
I
it
mean,
down.
I can defend Star Wars and Back to the Future and Indiana Jones in the
I am
same
defending it, so shut your whore
in the
mouth.
same way, but at least I know those films generally have a general consistency. Where
This
this
one's
was,
What you mean, like in
consistent.
Star Wars, where they can run really fast in the Phantom Menace and then they never do it again? That kind of consistency.
well, actually, pretty much every force ability in Star Wars has never been explained.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No consistency. So, because we've got a whole second chapter to discuss, let's move into the final act.
Oh, okay.
So, they go into. Josh realizes that he's got this
Astral
ability,
projection
astral
thing.
projection. He goes in to find Timothy Dalton, And
What?
his kid's called Dalton. He goes in to find Timothy Dalton where Darth Maul's sharpening his fingernails.
Well, you get to see the weird family first,
Oh,
don't
yeah.
you? Like, there's one, and like
That was nice.
like I loved that bit. There's the mum, the dad, and
Two daughters.
the
Yeah.
sister in the living room.
Yeah.
Mum's ironing, dad's reading the paper, sister's looking at the TV. Everyone's not actually doing anything, but just looking really blankly
Yeah, it
and
looks
really
quite
menacingly.
creepy,
And he's like walking around some more. Dad's whistling, I think.
Yeah, they're like mannequins in a store almost.
Yeah.
It felt
Really
a bit
pale.
like Eden Camp. Did you ever go to Eden Camp?
No.
The War Museum? Moving on.
He then sees the other sister, and she's got a chuffing shotgun, because you hear the shotgun
Yeah.
reloading, don't you? Like when he's in the house. I don't know why I'm just doing this with my hand.
Yeah, it's very masturbatorial.
But reloads a shotgun, and then all of a sudden you hear the gunshots. He goes back into the living room. Everyone's dead, and she's just stood there like with this menacing look on her face, and it's like, shit the bed. This is the female Joker. What is going on? And then all of a sudden, like, they're all up in his face. Don't say anything. Don't hear anything. Apart from the reloading of the shotgun, the dad whistling. Then that stops, and then the gunshots.
The whole journey to find the kid, he's faced with those people. Creepy moment. But then he also fights the licky of his wife guy. But
What way he just pushes him and he's like, no.
yeah.
Crying in the corner lady, though.
Oh yeah.
She
Crying
was
in the
weird.
corner, maybe?
Like, he goes into one of the rooms upstairs, and like there's this woman behind the closet door in the corner, like sobbing, and like he's like asking if she's okay, and then you hear a kid running down the hallway. He turns around and looks at the kid, turns back to the crying lady. She's gone.
Right.
This honestly feels like it was written by someone, because I know I've got things that I wrote when I was in like college and university that is written in that era that hasn't been checked, because they don't. It's got none of those ghosts have relay anything into the story, do they? They don't.
No.
Unless it's people that used to live in the house.
But again, we're just purely presuming
Yeah.
on that one.
But
Yeah.
these are all the people that are trying to get into his body.
So we get to the end then. He finds Timothy Dalton.
Chained up to a radiator in
Those
a
chains
boudoir.
that he can just open by pulling them apart.
But he can't, because it'll kill him.
No, but he does. He just opens them. The dad, I mean. He
But-
just opens them. Darth Maul turns around, sticks his tongue out, and then they basically run away from him, don't
Yeah.
they?
Yeah, that Darth Maul guy is. I mean, in Phantom Menace is great, but in this movie, he's shit.
He's got goat hoofs for feet. It's going
Yeah,
to
he
be
can't
really
run very
difficult for him
fast.
to run.
I want a cutaway scene where it's just like, fucking hell.
These hoofs.
So they get back to the house.
The old lady in the photos.
Oh yeah,
we missed that
we-
bit.
yeah.
There's essentially a bit where Josh, the main guy, when he was a kid, took photos, and this ghost got closer and closer, and then they repressed it, and then she appears towards the end.
Yeah, you
So
see her right at the
then-
beginning. She's trying to finger him.
Yeah.
He comes back then, and then Elise finds him. So
Yeah.
Elise is like, "Oh, it's so nice that you're back." Takes a photo of him. Is it because I can't remember, because I've seen all three in such quick succession? Is it because he's acting a bit shifty?
Yeah. He's not himself, and they don't know if it's because he's seen things.
Yeah.
I've seen things, man.
So she takes a snap of him.
Yeah.
You don't see it, do you, in this way? You don't
No,
see
you
what
don't see it
she's
in-
seen.
You don't see the actual photo, but they do have a bit. So they show you that, she takes a picture and he's like, "Why did you do that? Why did you do that?" And then they cut away to it, and then they cut back, and they kind of have a weird flashback in the same movie. This isn't in the sequel. The same movie, a weird flashback where you cut back to it and you see it from a different point of view, which is Josh's point of view, which is as you find out the ghost, and then you see the flash of the picture and you see that it's the woman. It's like a point of view shot of the woman, so almost like it's the photo,
Yeah.
but not, because you actually just see the woman, and then she reaches forward and strangles her, and then that's what you see. So it's a weird thing. They never show you a photo. They show you what the photo essentially took, and then what happened after it. But it's a really weird.
It is an odd ending. And just to wrap up Insidious Part 1 then, so she's dead, Elise is dead, so you think, well, she'll never be back in another Insidious film ever again.
Yeah.
And then, how does it finish after that?
It's essentially he
just plays
Moira
happy.
McTaggart comes in, Renee comes in, and she's like, "Oh no, she's dead! Oh, what happened?" And then he walks in like, "Oh no, she's dead! Whoa, what happened?" And then suddenly it turns out that ghosts don't know how to delete digital photographs because she picks up, she picks up the camera and looks at it and goes, with her back to him, and he puts his hand on her and goes, "It'll be fine," or something like that, and then that's how it ends.
So that's Insidious. We're going to come back in part 2 and talk about Insidious 2, what we thought of the films, how we thought it, if one was good, one was bad, and we'll be back shortly.
At last we will reveal ourselves to the Jedi. At last we will have revenge and cheese.
Hello and welcome back to part 2 of this Insidious special. We are now going to move on to Insidious Chapter 2. It's not part 2, is it? It's Chapter 2.
Yeah.
Tells you. We've already kind of talked about some parts of Insidious 2, like the introduction that goes on for 30,000 years. But pre-intro...
Yeah.
There's they start, don't they, with like a back scene, like almost a prequel.
Pick it up exactly after, trying to pick up from the first Insidious, but also doing a pre-intro thing.
So it's pre-Insidious Part 1 with young Elise's voice.
That's the most stupid, weird dubbing I've ever seen in my life.
I do not get that. Why the fuck have they done it?
It's weird.
Yeah, why would they be like, we'll get this woman who looks like her, unless that woman's like French or something, and they're like, her voice is clearly foreign, but she looks like her.
They dub her with an old woman's
lady
voice.
Yeah, why the fuck have they done that?
It's like getting, what's his face? Just like, because, anyone who gets older, they get like a deeper, an older, more croaky voice. Doesn't matter what your gender is or anything. Like, as you get older, your voice drops, and it's very obvious.
Yeah. And she's just like, hello, Josh. And you're like,
I'm 20 years old. I'm here to tell you about your son.
But they don't even just do it for like a couple of lines. It's a full-on sequence of her talking in this old lady voice. She does her best at getting the time in, but it's poorly dubbed. So
would you rather her make up Elise? Like, make her up? Try and give her a facelift? Like, sellotape her face up?
Or just having another voice? We're fine. We're all right with that. It's okay.
No, I think I want sellotaped face.
Hello, my name's Elise.
Can't breathe right now, but...
Talk higher, high-pitched. Hello. Don't use your deep old lady voice. So it starts with Josh, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And as a kid.
Yeah. Different
kid to the first kid, the one in the photos, but yeah, I don't care about it. They don't care about that.
No.
But they're quite happy to dub that lady's voice. And it's with Josh and his mum when they're younger, and you learn a little bit more about what happened originally.
Yeah, astral projection stuff, how they got him to not so much how they got him to repress the memory, but you get to see a little bit more of, he actually does remember this.
What was that fuck with? So with the intro, they have a bit where they're filming Josh as a young kid.
Yeah.
But so also at this age, this is when there was those photos taken where every photo they took, she was getting closer and closer.
Yeah.
And then they video him.
Yeah.
Which is 24 frames per second.
Yeah.
No ghost gets closer to him.
Maybe ghosts were just like chilling,
they
having a brew, having a shit. I don't know. Ghosts might shit.
Oh shit! There's a camera. Fucking missed it again. Maybe there's loads of pictures they took and the ghost missed it, and the mom only chose select photos. These are all.
Ghosts only respond to still imagery, anyway, not to moving pictures.
Like, they don't understand the brands of video cameras.
Yeah. They're like, what's that? No, it's nothing for us to worry
Not
about.
a Kodak.
The I've not seen him put film in that. It's one of them tapes that you put in the TV.
Well, you get to see the young beard man, young dice man, don't you?
Beardman.
Fuck me, that dice guy's wank. I mean, going into it, I know it's a bit ahead of the time, but those dice, what the fuck are they about?
So he is smooth. So you see him in the start, but when he comes back later, he's got the smoothest introduction. Do you remember what he fucking says when he comes back in?
No.
He says to the mum, he looks at her and goes,
Hey, sugar tits. Goes all Mel Gibson.
pretty much, he goes, looks like I've done the aging for both of us.
I did not. He should have spelt that out in dice.
Sexy fuck just on there. Honest to God, he said that line, I was like, he is trying to pants her.
Because he's
Turn him into
not
a-
in her league. She's the mum's quite tasty.
Oh, yeah. And
I
he's-
thought if he were going for Elise, that's one thing.
Later on, he does, but it's just that, honestly, that opening line is so baller. It's,
Did he call a fuck pig and put his finger in her mouth?
I don't think that happened.
And then he vomited.
What are the phrase fuck pig?
I couldn't laugh fast enough. My body went, well, eject the stomach.
So, moving on from that. So Rose Byrne's being investigated by the cops. That storyline just doesn't really go anywhere, does it?
This is what I'm on about by the clunky, ham-fisted. It starts with trying to both not recreate the intro and also just exactly re-showing the intro, where there's a long thing. So after the intro, there's a thing where it's Rose Byrne explaining essentially what happened through the entire first thing to a police officer who goes, we found hands round her throat, we're going to reckon it's your husband. Later on, you find out, he just calls up randomly out of the blue, you don't see him again, and goes, it wasn't your husband, the end.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that was the whole point of that. There really is no need for that.
But also, while she's explaining that to a police officer, you show exactly what happened again, fully unedited, like they literally just lifted and shifted the end of the first movie. And it was just... We didn't know we could either explain it, we could show it and just go into it. Oh, how about both? How about we just try and fit the square peg into the round hole? And,
Just sign, just hammer it in.
yeah, exactly. And it felt hammered into my brain.
Thumb it in.
Thumbed it in.
You have the crudest words.
So she gets investigated. What kind of kick-starts the story of the film? Is it just back
Nothing.
to Rose Byrne in a house hearing creepy shit again?
Yeah, so they get investigated. They were like, oh well, you know what? We'll get away from this house. Someone's just got murdered here, or someone's just died here. We'll go with who we are.
Oh yeah, they go to Granny's house, don't
Yeah.
they?
And then weird shit starts to happen again.
Yep.
Exactly the same as the first film, except Rose Byrne's character has seen a picture of her husband looking like the
Creepy
murderous
lady.
woman.
Lady, yeah.
But
Who can't put makeup on?
yeah,
She's not great at that.
but then conveniently forgets it all. Just goes.
Yeah, but it's for the family. Because the dad's like, don't bring this up again. It's for the family. And she's
Yeah.
like, all right then.
No, shit,
Even though
soz.
no, do you know what? Right at the beginning, she's like, it's happening again, even though it was supposed to happen yesterday. I'm like, you can't just say it's still happening.
Yeah.
And then she sees the little baby toy, doesn't she? The walker.
I want to
It
know
makes really loud noises.
why everyone can afford a fucking piano.
Yeah, I was going to say that full-on, grand piano, not just a Casio or
Yeah, not even a keyboard.
Yeah.
Like one of them tiny ones.
pencil cases.
I didn't realise they moved from one house with piano to another.
Yeah, everyone can afford a piano. And it's like, why?
Well, to be
first of
fair-
all, does the mum play the piano?
To be fair, I think a lot of people give away pianos because you don't want them, but then it's the upkeep, it's tuning them, and
I don't
I've
have
got
a piano in
massive
my
house.
house. You don't have a piano in your house.
No, I don't.
I
You haven't got a
have
piano in your box.
I have half a piano because it's an art piece, and also
Okay.
You live outside Maplins.
and by half a piano I mean I drew it on the inside of my cardboard place.
Okay.
So they have got a piano and they start to hear piano tunes, don't they?
Yeah, Baby
It's-
Walker.
Baby Walker, piano tunes. Her song to Josh, is it? Or does that
Wank
develop
shit.
over time? Kid's got a bean tin on a bit of string. Little Dalton, he's like, oh my God, I've just been tortured by ghosts for 3 months. You know what'll make me feel better? A bean tin with some string.
Yeah.
And let's not talk about any of the shit that's just happened. We'll just talk into a bean tin.
Yeah, it just you're repressing that memory. That's what the family's great at.
Yeah, they are. Get to Granny's queen of repression. Don't age, though. That's the key.
I think if you analysed
Ghost jizz.
my notes from this, you would see the most repeated word is clunky.
All right.
Clunky as fuck,
Okay.
in particular, because a lot of the dialogue and a lot of the action is clunky as fuck. Like what you mentioned with the bean cans. It's all very much like...
Set up and
say-
payoffs. It's set up and payoffs again. They
Maybe
just-
it's so like if he goes to sleep again and goes into it further, he's got his bean can. He can
Yeah, he
talk to
has.
his mum and just be like, Mum. I know like phone signal's not right
That would
great.
be nice.
But here's my bean tin.
You know
Here's
what?
my bean tin, Mum.
You
That
don't
would
look
be...
older than 21, Mum.
That's a really good point, and that would be like the better version of or similar version of essentially what Stranger Things started to do with the lights. It would be a really good moment where if the kid got lost again or anything, or anyone got lost, they'd be using this communication method that they'd set up at the start, and it'd be fucking endearing as fuck.
This is why I should make films.
He
Yeah,
does
well,
he
you
does
should.
take it with him in the end. You know what I had a thought about? I wonder if like when sexy time happens, when Renee and Josh are like getting down to it, I wonder if the little Dalton kid has like matching lingerie. They have like matching pajamas.
Why did you think that?
Because he wears those matching pajamas. Do you reckon like when it's naughty time, he comes down in a little silky like
Negligee.
yeah, and he's like, "Oh hi, mum, you look 21."
I think we're...
Oh. So things start ramping up again. We hear the piano. There's the row your boat woman in the living room. She's a little bit creepy.
Oh.
These things like row your boat, and we do
That's ridiculous generic.
It is.
Singing a nursery rhyme.
The first film, the second film, it's all generic, and you've made the best analogy of that folding paper. It's been handed on to someone else who went, you know what's really creepy in a horror movie, and it's literally creepy in a horror movie where it's not just creepy. It would be creepy on its own, but they've written it specifically so it only works in a horror movie with all these other tropes that are happening.
The odd thing is, it's not been done that. It's not been passed around a committee. I think it's just written by Lee Wanell.
Yeah,
Specs.
it's
Maybe,
written
maybe
by
he's just
Specs.
taking loads of
who's-
different drugs.
Yeah, yeah.
I think he just needs to get out of college and read books and experience life, and then maybe have a more worldly opinion on things and not just watch every single horror movie and pick and choose the little bits that he wants that he thinks are cool.
Poor Lee Wanell. So then I've got to admit, Insidious 2 definitely was more taxing in the middle section when Dice Man came in and started rolling his dice round.
Before that, there's the bit with the grandma, and the grandma sees the old lady, gets locked in the bathroom.
That's quite good, and she has a whole little chase scene. That's when he's like, "Do it for my family, don't tell anyone."
Yeah. And then there's the weird Victorian lady that slaps the baby's face.
Oh, is that before this bit?
Oh man,
Yeah.
the Victorian lady who slaps the baby's face, creepy as fuck. But then, like within seconds, he turns around and slaps Renee.
The mother as well.
And it's a proper
like-
Hilarious as
I
fuck.
love that. How dare you?
Yeah.
Like it was something straight out of EastEnders.
It was, yeah. It was soap opera, that bit. I didn't like that
It
bit.
was amazingly. It went from creepy to just downright.
But just slapping a baby's face.
I just put ghost women smack. Don't you dare, I think she says. It started to get into like cliche horror tropes.
I just wanted Prodigy at that point. Smack my bitch up. Pooh! And then baby slap.
But the dice guy, he comes into the picture and then starts that whole subplot about going to the hospital or whatever, the abandoned
They
hospital.
go off on their
And I
own.
was like, oh, if you couldn't have put any more cliche horror tropes into a film, you've thrown an abandoned hospital in there.
And they had a flashback to the mum being a nurse, and then an old man trying to strangle her kid, and then the mum, that same mum, in an elevator with the old man.
Dead for 10 years.
Yes,
Basically, that
exactly.
wasn't it? Like, didn't you know he died yesterday? And you're like, oh, that new one.
Fucking, honestly, there's a point in this film where my notes are just, let me read them out. I have stopped caring about this film. Fucking hell, I really can't deal with this.
Was it when he started pulling his teeth out as well?
I just had a bit of a mental breakdown of just, what is this movie even trying to do other than drive me insane with... It's not even like a good, bad movie. It's just, it thinks it's a good movie.
And then he started rolling dice and it started being in Latin.
Just riddles.
And he was like, it means mother death. And he was like, what does that mean?
Morse.
It means mother death.
Yes!
Thick
It's
bitch.
literal.
Yeah. But why was that ghost? Like, were they from like ancient Rome? Why
No,
were
it
they
was Elise,
speaking?
weren't it? It was talking to Elise.
Oh, what? And she knows Latin.
Of
No. But when he was rolling it and it said, it's death, mother, death. I
Yeah,
thought
that
it was
wasn't
the
Elise,
mum.
no.
That was the one who slapped the baby, and it's the one who knocked out Renee, and it's the one who told the little boy to
You're
dress up as a
Marilyn.
girl. Yeah, exactly. That's who it was.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And that's why she was
Parker
trying to kill
Crane.
them. Yeah.
Or whatever.
But this is the thing I found confusing. So there's Parker Crane,
Yeah,
the murderous
all
ghost.
of this I found confusing.
Parker Crane, the murderous ghost.
So is Parker Crane the little kid, the little boy?
Yeah. But also the old man in the flashbacks. The one
Yeah,
who
so he's
castrated
the-
himself and killed himself.
Yeah.
But also the one who
he's-
committed all the murders dressed up as the
As
lady
the
in
lady.
black.
Right, okay then. So he's
But
playing
he
three
was
roles.
haunted by his mum, who was the one who slapped the baby and
baby
did that.
slapper.
Yeah.
He was haunted by her. She wasn't just there.
What do you mean?
I thought like he wasn't haunted by her. That was him as a kid with his mum actually there. She just looked weird because it was a weird flashback.
No, that woman was his mum. That's why she...
Yeah, but she wasn't haunting him though, was she?
Later on she was. Because there's a bit where Smooth Dice Guy...
Smooth dice guy. I
Smooth
wonder
dice
who that
guy.
was going to be. Smooth.
you know, where it's like, oh, roll the dice, see what I've got behind my back.
Oh yeah.
And then he's like, mother was always right, and pulls it out.
And he's like, I want to know what Parker Crane's
Exactly.
got behind his back. And he's like, oh, you busted me. You've got me. You've got
Oh,
me.
shit.
So there's a weird
And he throws a
murder
mug at him, doesn't he?
by the end of it where they kill the mum of Parker Crane,
Did
and
he?
that stops Parker Crane.
I can't remember that at all. What is wrong with
Smooth
me?
Dice Guy like beats up. No, sorry. Elise beats up the mum of Parker Crane, and that stops Josh, who is inhabited by Parker Crane's ghost.
Yeah, but as
So
an old lady.
why does that
Yeah.
stop? Why does Elise killing the mum ghost? Two ghosts killing each other also don't explain. They don't explain ghosts killing each
No.
other. What happens?
Can you die if you're a ghost?
Exactly. But also the fact that you've got Parker Crane's mum's ghost and you've got Parker Crane's ghost.
The
And
whole
you
Parker Crane thing just didn't make much sense to me.
none of it did. It's
No, I just didn't get why it had to be like the ghost that's inside Josh does not look like a man in drag.
No, and it
It
didn't
look-
in the first film.
It looks like an old lady.
Yeah, it does.
Like a creepy as shit old lady, but an old lady.
Creepy, sexy old lady.
Creepy, sexy, with her makeup smudged over her face because she's taken that many dicks in the mouth.
and sure, she probably gives great head, but she's a creepy old lady.
I mean, she's wearing that veil, so you don't have to see her face while she's sucking your dick.
But does the veil have a hole in it, or does she lift it
She
up?
just lifts it
or-
up just above her lips, and
Balances it.
yeah, well,
Rolls it up.
she's got like one of them little clips that she puts like in her nose, like on the bridge of on a septum. That's the one.
I like that this is happening.
On a septum, and it like comes under, and then she hooks the lace on the little
Is that a
clip.
thing? Is that...
And it is now.
It is
Maybe,
now.
maybe I'm getting into it. Like,
Maybe this is
This
what
is
you should sell
Katty's
on
folded
Etsy.
bit of paper section that she's writing.
yeah, this is my
I'm going
bit.
to go to town on this veil bit. So after she's sucked everyone's dick by the sounds of it, I mean, the whole film takes like a big lull in the middle. The whole hospital section is boring as fuck.
Oh, it
But
does
then it turns into Back to the Future.
Yeah.
And you start getting all the time travel shit. That's completely not explained why, if he goes into the further he can go back in time and knock on his own door. It doesn't explain it at all, but I loved it. When he knocked on his own door, I was like, oh! I started throwing popcorn.
No, but there's shit where at least threw the bad guy from the first film out the window after Josh has gone in. Josh is the one who's gone in, influenced for knocking on the door, gone in to stop this bad guy, loses to the bad guy, but then Elise comes in, holy savior, out of fucking nowhere, chucks him out a window. But in the first film, you didn't hear any window breaking.
It's a ghost window, that
Yeah.
one. That's ghost window breaking.
The knocking on the door wasn't, and
No,
all
because
the other
real
shit.
door.
Because, well, obviously, like, ghosts have powers. Because if you don't believe that, you're an idiot. And, like, some ghosts can, like, walk through walls. And then when they want to knock something over, they can do. They just have to concentrate.
Yeah,
so
have you
that's
seen
why.
Ghost?
Yeah.
Where he flicks that Coke can.
I need to find my note about Elise coming back. I think that was actually what broke me. Maybe I think.
So while you're looking for that, this is all ramping up towards the end. There's the whole linking back to the first one, and then Specs and Thingy are there again, whatever his name is. And I love all the bit where they're talking about quesadillas, and he's like, "Just say quesadilla." I thought it was unicorn. He's like, "No, quesadilla."
That's something I didn't mention in the first.
And the
film.
giant torch in the first one, he gets a bigger torch. Like, they've got some really good.
Those two
comic
guys, they made the first one enjoyable. In the start of this second movie, they weren't enjoyable, but by the end, they became their old characters again.
Yeah.
And they were enjoyable. So yeah, I agree. And the quesadilla scene is exactly a perfect scene of that.
Yeah, they're good, and they give you some nice comic relief. It then really goes to Shining territory. So he becomes
This is it.
Jack.
I found my note. So Elise returns, and literally that bit with the knocking on the door, and there's and then they realise the bit at the start of Insidious 2, bit where he talks to someone who isn't there.
Oh yeah,
And then they go back and see it happen. Elise literally says, almost to the camera, but not looking directly into it. So that's what that was about.
Oh, yeah.
As if it, number one, already wasn't obvious, but fucking hell, just...
Oh, I liked that, but I thought that was funny. Oh, so that's what that was about. Yeah, so it's Josh who was there, wasn't it? Because he goes back then. Again, I think we're going to have to wrap up towards the end.
The end is nothing fucking decent happens and it's shit.
The dad goes crazy, starts smashing down doors, chases the family. That
Into the
kid
basement.
falls asleep in 2 seconds.
Because he's right, we've already decided he's right good at napping.
Yeah, it's best napping ever. Like, he's listening to some whale music or some shit in that tin can.
We get a bit of invasion of the body snatchers. You know, the bit where there's like the mum scene happening and then she goes...
Oh yeah,
and
like
points
that
at
bit.
him, yeah.
Yeah, that was good. That was creepy. So they go back, they find Dad, bring Dad back. And then how does it end?
Like, Dad goes...
Exactly.
Dad goes a little crazy, tries to like kill the kids and that in the basement, doesn't he? And then
Yeah, because
We're in the
that's what I mean.
basement,
They
yeah.
send the kid to sleep. He goes and finds Josh in the further.
Brings him back.
And then is that it? He just
That's
brings
it,
him back,
yeah.
and then there's that weird...
No, because they killed, like I said, they killed the mum of Parker, whatever dickhead, and that stopped him killing the young Josh, killing the kid.
So, smooth operator, as I like to call him, Dice
yeah.
Man. Everyone comes back into the normal bodies. Smooth operator then like hypnotizes like Josh and Dalton
gets
to
them
get
to
them to
forget.
forget how to astral project.
Right, okay.
And then that stops, and like that's all happy, and everyone's like really happy and stuff. And
But
what's the next
then
bit?
they visit another family?
Specs
so Specs and Tucker go and visit another family and like knock on the door, and they're just stood there just like, oh, how's it going? And then this little girl's just like, who's that behind you? Who's that woman? And you think, shit, it's going to be like weird,
Creepy ghost lady or whatever.
yeah, weird old lady. Yeah.
Velociraptor.
The fucked up Hoover. It's going to be her, and then like it pans round and you just see like Elise sat there.
Yeah.
They go into the house. It's like, oh yeah, by the way, like we've been having, there's like an old lady or an old man in like a rocking chair or something looking really weird.
No, so the young girl put in a rocking. Oh no, she's in a wheelchair. Yeah, yeah.
And then it's like, it's just right weird. And it's like the parents are just like, oh yeah, by the way, we're having like some really crazy stuff. There's some ghosts and that. Shit's getting moved. It's like, all right. And then like Elisa's just talking to the little girl. And then all of a sudden, like Elise just looks into the corner and she's like, oh my God. And then you don't actually see what's
and
going
then it
on.
ends, and it doesn't pick that one up in
Just like the
Insidious
first
3
film,
either.
they don't show you anything like what you want to see.
But it doesn't pick that up in the Insidious
Have you
3,
seen
'cause-
it?
Yeah, because that's a prequel.
Yeah, that
Right back when Elise is alive again.
with a girl with her 2 broken legs.
Yeah.
That
And
explains
the other weird demon.
Yeah.
why in IMDb all these original casts are in the first, second, and then
And
fourth.
they don't even come back for the fourth. Rose Byrne and Patrick Wilson don't.
They're listed in.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Maybe they use them for a bit. So that's Insidious 1 and 2.
Yeah.
So we've got to now decide whether we think these films are spoilt milk or luxurious cheese. I'm going to go first on this one. I loved them. I loved them
You
both. They made
piece
no
of shit.
sense whatsoever. I do think that it's quite fun, and I think that the guy's got quite a good eye for directing, but not the best timing when it comes to scares and how long to scare someone for, when to just cut away. But apart from that, I enjoyed it. I had fun with both of them. I watched the third one straight after. I thought the Specs and his mate were good, fun characters. I
Yeah.
like Elise, Lynn Shay. She's just great. Even though when she first came on, it made me think of Kingpin. You know, when she's like, it made me think of that. But yeah, I thought it was really good. And yeah, I definitely would say it was a fine, luxurious cheese.
Do you want to?
I'll go next. I agree with Jam. Like I really enjoyed it. Like it's one of these mindless kind of horrors that you can put on. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to take it seriously. It's a little bit spooky. It's got little scares here and there. But if someone doesn't like horror films and someone does get quite scared about them, they can quite happily sit and watch that and not get freaked out. I enjoy like ghost stories. I really liked it. It was beautifully shot. Like some of the shots and the angles and stuff were really good. The storyline's a little wishy-washy, but no, it's all in all, I think 1 and 2 linking together. I liked how they linked in together.
Yeah, me too.
As much as Hobo, you're saying it's really clunky and it's ham-fisted. I liked how you got the door opening and then you got like that man, you got to see what it was actually like sat behind the baby's crib and just been like, yeah, it's good. It's great. Cheese.
And do you know what the weird thing is? I think I'm probably going to agree with most of the stuff that the Hobo says, but still like it anyway.
Probably.
Anyway, go
Right,
for it.
so one thing I want to know. So we've done these together, but if I were to give both of you, and you just need to give an instant sort of answer. So out of 5, what would you give 1 and 2? So the first one only, out of 5, what would you give it?
3.
Maybe 4.
And then the second one?
3.
Same again.
Okay. Oh, God. No, they're both terrible. But the second one is in particularly bad. Like,
You thought the second was worse than the first?
like a hot mess. And I didn't even think the first one was that good. And I'd watched it the first time and I didn't really like it, but I thought, oh, maybe it's not the type of horror movie. Because I saw it in the cinema and I actually saw it where director James Wan gave a talk afterwards about it and
Oh,
stuff.
nice.
Oh, that's cool.
And I wish at the time I'd put my hand up and went, why did you make that piece of shit?
Glassed him.
Yeah. But like, there's just, and I think only time has shown me how much I don't like this film, and it was absolutely I wanted to turn it off, and especially after watching the first one, not long into the first one, I wanted to just stop it and come here and say I didn't watch the second one because I just didn't.
Can you not just like turn your brain off and just watch it though?
No, I tried because I knew what to expect because I had already seen the first one, so I knew to go into it going, just relax, just.
Oh, I don't get it. It's an easy
Yeah,
watch.
it is.
Like,
it's
just
not.
nice and easy.
you sit. You don't expect anything of it.
I think it is exactly the intro of both of these films that sets me up on edge the
Well, just
entire
go-
time because
go-
they are so bad. like Speed has a really bad intro. Don't get me, like if you watch Speed, it's got a terrible intro. But I can sit and turn off my brain and watch that film.
But during the intro, go like harpoon a seal or something. Like just pass your time doing something else.
But how would I understand this film? That obviously you need to see the start from start to finish to understand. Oh wait, you don't need to see it from start to finish because it's shit. So that's I'm putting it in spoiled milk piece of shit bag.
So there you go, Insidious Part 1 and 2. Fine, luxurious cheese. Despite
shit!
What the Hobo thinks. And that's it for episode 7 of the Spoilt Milk Movie Podcast. I hope you enjoyed that. See you soon.
Bye-bye.
No.
Through the window. Do, 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 do.